for today, and I might come back to this concept because I'm speedrunning this, so I'm scared that I'm going to miss out on some things, is identifying space. I'll say this, safe space. Safe space as supports. So, how do you identify what's safe space and what's not safe space as a support? And I specifically look at these guys here, okay? Now, I'm going to explain to you how, as a flex support, you can identify safe space yourself. And I'm going to give a few tips that will help you identify better how to take space utilizing key heroes or key roles in the game, right? If not key roles in the game, I'm going to try to help it so that you don't have to rely on what I consider band-aid fixes or potentially very big anchors in order to kind of have the success. It will be harder for Alarm to take space compared to MCD. And it's going to be very interesting for you guys to see the differences here. So, if you look at this and look at majority of comps, many of the times, these guys, specifically like those 5 that I circled on both teams, regardless of comp, they don't have problems taking space a lot of the time. Why? Well, DPS have a lot of support with them, or they have like tanks taking aggro or something else. Tanks, you are the ones taking space. Like, you figure out what space to take, or like you brute force like to take space, right? As supports, your job is a little bit different, especially in dive. You need to understand 2 things when you're playing flex support or support in general in dive, and that is this. 1, I want to be in best possible position, okay? Number 2, it's kind of like proactiveness, but I'll try to say it in a different way than proactive. You want to make sure that you're getting value. Now, as streams go on later, I'll call multiple things value, because realistically, as any hero, you need to know if you're getting value. This goes back to why you're doing something. This goes back to, is this efficient? Is this good? Why am I doing this? Why is he doing this? Why is this maybe bad? Why is this maybe good, right? So it's value. So to explain these a little bit better in a much straightforward tone, best possible position. A lot of people say this as safe. You're safe, right? You're not going to get dove. You're not going to die. You're in a position where you can do a little bit of your role, maybe shoot out some damage, but not maybe heal, or maybe you can just only heal, but not hit a really aggressive nade, maybe not hit discords as effectively, but you're not going to die. Now, this is where the issue comes in. Yes, but no. That is partially correct. What I mean by best position is not just safety, it also means this as well. Aggression. Can I be aggressive? Can I do what I'm supposed to do? And this goes to value now. Am I actually able to get full use of my whole character? And the whole character doesn't just mean I'm healing someone. Cool, you're doing your primary job, but are you doing other things? On MCD's side, I'm looking at, can I hit nades, like aggressive nades for my team to follow up on? Can I play in a position where I'm going to play very aggressive with my team to enable my Zarya? For Alarm, it's, well, it's not just about, am I dealing damage? Do I have orb on the correct characters here? Can I discord targets still? Can I close the distance so I can hit headshots much more easily because they're right in my face? Yes, right? That's what I mean by aggression. That's what I mean by value. So you need to understand not just the best position in terms of safety, but the best position in terms of aggression, and the best position in terms of getting value from your cooldowns, getting value from yourself as the character, right? And this is where the part that many people struggle. these two things, right? And they kind of coincide with each other, but it is an important thing that a lot of people kind of forget, as specifically not just a flex support, I'm using that as an example, but even a support, right? And I'll display how funny and potentially alarm and MCD and IDK do it really well or really poorly, right? And I'll start off here with this first fight, actually. I was pretty sure that Alarm didn't run Zen and he run Ana here. But even if he switches to Ana, it will still work out because it's still like a general concept across the board that you kind of have to learn. Okay? So I'm going to go into overhead and I'm going to look at this, okay? So as a defender perspective team, you have space. So you're going to hold this space. You see that the backline is holding aggressively here, right? So they're holding in a good position. Now they're going to back up, right? Because they don't want to be in a dangerous position here to get dove or potentially die from a random pick. Oh, MCD is switching to BAP. Okay. Maybe this is a poor map to look at. But we'll see. Okay. So now I'm going to turn off the display and look at this. Okay. So we're going to look at the first fight first. And then after the first fight, I'm going to describe to you some key things that you should pick up on here. Well, maybe not, because they just got like instantly picked. Never mind, man. I'm going to wait for this fight. Because Hoppa's still really high charge, so I'll see this here. Blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to focus on Spark as much right now, just because they're running a shield character, so it's a little bit easier for supports to take space here. Okay. This is a good fight to look at. Right here. They have control of the choke here as Fusion. Now, I want you to pay attention specifically to Hoppa and Funny here, compared to Alarm. Pay attention to those two, and then I'll talk about Alarm in a moment, okay? Right, we see in that fight, and I'm going to play one more fight, and then I'm going to go back, and I'm going to show you some things that you need to look at here. Okay, they got the kill onto Gujue. The fight's still going on. Perfect. Okay. Last two fights. So I told you to pay attention to Hoppa and Funny Astro here. Now remember, we're talking about space. How to identify what space to play. And again, positioning, being in the best possible position for yourself, right? So I'll go down and I'll break down those two fights in a row and kind of break down what specifically I'm looking at here. Okay? Let's back up a little bit more. Perfect. Okay. So I'll do the overhead here. And okay, perfect. So big thing you're seeing here, we saw this for the first few fights, I should say, sorry. These guys are stacked, right? Hoppa is moving a little bit further back because he used his personal bubble, so he can't hold as aggressively here. Now, that being said, watch how they move now as the three of them, right? Let's look at Hoppa and then let's look at Funny. And the reason why I'm disabling this UI is so that you can see the positioning a little bit better from them. Because the UI shows where they are, it doesn't show the positioning and how they move as effectively. Because the icons are very, very big, right? So I'm going to back up to 2 seconds and I'm going to show you the point that I'm going to try to make to you in terms of this is the, I don't want to say the bandage solution, but this is the solution that a lot of teams utilize to allow for their flex support to take space. Okay? And this is something that you could do that could potentially help you a little bit more in a team environment, or when you feel like you have players that have a strong understanding of the game in your eyes, is like this. So I told you to look at Hoppa, look at Funny. Look at Hoppa, look at Funny Astro. They know that they can go aggressive. Specifically, Hoppa knows. I'm pretty sure Hoppa has his personal backup. Funny Astro knows that he's looking to go aggressive, right? And Alarm knows he's looking to go aggressive here, right? So Hoppa, understanding that he can go aggressive here, he starts taking the first step here. Then Funny's going to start taking the first step, or the next step. And then Alarm is going to take the next step, right? So you see, it's almost like a line. And if I go back a few seconds ago, right? A little bit more. The only reason Hoppa goes back here is to bubble Mono, as a side note, by the way. But you see Hoppa goes to take the lead again. Funny is taking the lead with him as well, right? Again, same concept. Hoppa's walking forward. Funny's walking forward. I back up a few more seconds here, right? And I look at this from this previous fight. We're going to see kind of like a similar concept here. I think it was this fight here. Perfect. Funny's a little bit ahead of Hoppa here, but Hoppa was on this tank. Funny's over here, right? So if I were to look at who's ahead of who here, Hoppa was ahead of Funny. Funny's ahead of Alarm. It's a conga line, in a way, is how I like to describe it. And this is where I say a lot of teams utilize this formula to help their flex support take space. It's the tank will identify what space they want to take, how aggressive they want to play, what space is good. From that point, then my Brig will look to take space as well. She's the next person to take space and prioritize and help. Then afterwards, my Zen will look to take space from my Brig. So how it works is like this. Zarya goes first to clear space. Okay? She's the first person to clear space. Then my Brig is going to clear space again for a second time and support my Zarya as she looks to clear space and play aggressive to take space. And as that's happening, my Zarya did the first check, my Brig did the second check. Now it's up to my Zen to just take the space. The space should be free for him to take because it's been cleared by two people. So I call this, almost in a way when I talk to flex supports, the bodyguard theory, where when you are playing this, and this happens in dive a lot, it doesn't have to be Zarya, it can be a diva as well, right? The off tank will take space first and clear space for you, or take space for you aggressively. The Brig will look to clear off potentially flanks, but mainly move forward to assist the Zarya. And then the Zen, when he knows that the two characters have cleared the space safely for him, he will walk forward. So pretty much, Hoppa is taking space. Funny Astro is using Hoppa as an anchor to allow him to understand when he should be taking space. And Alarm is using Funny Astro as an anchor to understand when he should be taking space. So again, it's a giant kind of like line where it's always going to be Hoppa will be the lead. And then Funny will follow afterwards. And then for Alarm, Funny is the lead. So it starts with the tank, and then it goes to the flex support. It goes from the highest HP target to now the next safest HP target, because Brig has a lot of CC. She has a lot of ways to protect herself, to Zen, who is the same about HP as Brig, but has less abilities to protect himself, right? Hence why it's the bodyguard kind of thing. Zarya is a very big bodyguard. Brig is like a medium-sized bodyguard, and Zen is the president. Like, you're protecting the president right there. You're making sure the president has no one come into his line of sight, no one to come sneak up on him to kill him. That's how they're going to look to kind of play this overall, right? And this goes into how the backline plays, right? The backline plays to brawl. But how do you know when it's safe to brawl? It's because of this kind of formula that you see teams use. And again, this is the general formula a lot of teams use. Now, is this flawed? 100% it's flawed. How is this flawed? Well, the best way to explain how this is flawed is simple. What if this person doesn't take space? What if this person doesn't take space? Right? What if both of them don't know how to take space? Right? Well, then at that point, if your flex support doesn't know how to take space or what space is safe for him, and the other two don't know how to take space or aren't taking space because they're not confident in taking the space for them, what's going to happen? You're going to sit there and you're not going to do anything, right? So then the concept, the theory of how do you safely identify space, or how do you take space safely for these weaker targets, they go down. You're never going to be able to take space. And that's why a lot of people struggle in this kind of composition. A lot of teams struggle in this composition because they don't do this kind of formula properly, right? Now, am I saying we should always do this formula? Definitely not. And this is why I said it fails sometimes. And it's why it's so important for you individually as a player to understand, well, how can I take space, right? What are the signs that I'm looking for to take space? Yes, you can use a character as an anchor to do it, but I'm going to kind of explain a few things that you can look to do in order to help you better identify space from a tank to a main support to a flex support. And the hardest one will be flex support, right? Because you're so reliant on the other two to do stuff. But I will still give you some points to understand that you need to know to understand to get value in terms of being able to play aggressive. And that's on Zen and that's on Ana, right? How am I doing for time? 20 minutes? All right. I'll do it in 15. Alarm has Trank. Perfect. Okay. This is going to look to be a good fight. I have a feeling, an inkling. Okay, they're pushing cart, pushing cart, pushing cart. Okay. Fusion is playing this really, really safely. I don't want that fight. I want to fight. This is a perfect fight. Okay. All right. We're going to back up a little bit here. Gonna back up a little bit here. Okay, it's not that one. It's right here. When they go to take space here, I think. Okay, perfect. This is what I want. So the reason why I'm doing it like this is it's harder for them to... Realistically, Fusion doesn't have to take space here. Like, the backline don't have to take space because they're set up top here. So that's why I'm going past this kind of fight, and I'm trying to go for a fight when it's the second half here. And hence why I'm liking what I'm seeing right now. They're pushing cart here, right? Now they're in a safe position. Now you're going to see how they take space, or they try to take space. Do I like what I'm seeing here? Hoppa is like so behind his backline. I'm like really scared. Like Hoppa's playing really, really safe right now. So we will look at Hoppa's POV first to identify what kind of things allow him to know when to take space. Okay. Okay. Trank is forced. Backing up, backing up. Charge, personal, back. Do. Play the fight through. Perfect. Okay. Hoppa's not the most aggressive Zarya, but he still does the trick. And it's very, very nice to kind of see. Okay. So like I said, going back to like right here, sorry. It's very scary for me with Hoppa here because like Hoppa's like so delayed in terms of like how fast he kind of gets somewhere, right? You look at this and like how slow he is because he's just shooting the cart, right? Oh, wait, right here. There we go. Sorry. We're looking at this fight here when they get window. Like I said, he's spamming like a lot and he's looking at the cart. Like he's so behind his backline here. But tips about how Hoppa knows how to take space. Okay, there's two things that I can kind of say, or three things that I can kind of show you about how he kind of looks to play space, or how he knows to take space. Okay. Number one. Personal. If he has personal bubble up and he is, then the next point, high charge, right? He can look to take space, right? If this is an Ana with him instead, he will not hesitate to run at them. Why? Because he knows he can get a lot of burst healing, right? Why is he a little bit more hesitant to push past here? He has a Zen. Zen is more about damage. They're playing like a weird kind of comp with range. So you're not fully pocketing the Zarya. You're playing a little bit more for your Zen here. Your Zarya can still take space, but it's going to be a lot different. And this will depend on number 3, which is what I like to call numbers slash frontline position. So to split it up so that I can kind of understand or explain this a little bit better for you, based off of the number advantage, if Fusion has a number advantage in their favor, or the front line is positioned in a way from Fusion that they're going forward and aggressing, so they're taking the first tempo and then Hoppa is looking to take second tempo, that's when he's going to look to go forward and take space. He's going to look to pretty much not take space on his own. He's going to look to take space when he knows that they are going to be successful in the brawl. They have some sort of advantage in that phase to where he can end the fight relatively easily, right? The personal and the high charge are just another set of tools that allows him to know, I can go in here, no one can fight me, as long as I get pocketed properly, right? So these are the 3 ways that you can identify, and I'll show you kind of based off of how it goes from here, right? So we'll play it at 1, and I'll kind of show you and walk you through these 3 points and how he utilizes these 3 points. He sees this ball going in. He has personal. He wants to walk forward. He's high charge. He backs up because of the window there, right? They back up. Now you see that he's going to back up and go back to the high ground here, right? He still has personal. He still has high charge. He doesn't have a number advantage. He doesn't have anybody in the front line position. So hence why right now he's playing the high ground advantage. He sees that they're going back top. He's pressuring to go cart. He's playing a little bit safe because even though they're up 1 person, the number advantage on the high ground is not in his favor. It's a 3v, I believe, 4 over there. So that's why he's backing up right now, right? He backs up. He uses personal to go a little bit further back. Now he's going to wait for the rest of his team. EMP goes up. He's going to now walk forward. He has high charge. The whole enemy team is EMP'd. He waits for his front line to start walking forward a little bit more here. Mono goes in. He's playing a little bit more aggressive, and he's playing to hold that space there. Why? Because he has that number advantage. He has his front line playing in that area that he wants to fight and brawl. He's going to look to hold space more aggressively, walk forward. So for off tank, it's a little bit easier to identify this stuff because a lot of the time it's about holding positions, looking to close a little bit of distance and taking that space, right? And a lot of it, again, even though I talked about this conga line of anchoring, 1 person anchoring to another person anchoring to 1 person using those anchors as a way to describe, that's how he's kind of looking to approach it, right? So a lot of it will always be for these kind of comps, especially dive. Frontline will dictate how the backline moves. Whether the front line or the back line specifically, the off tank can play more aggressive or play more passive. The enemy team, depending on their style, will also determine that. But in this case, since it's a Zarya versus an Orisa kind of thing, or dive versus Orisa, Hoppa can play a little bit more aggressive compared to if it was a counter dive situation. Okay, so this is Hoppa. That's a quick overview of how Hoppa is going to look to do stuff and take space, right? I'm going to use the same fight for Astro so that you kind of understand how Astro is looking to do stuff, right? And then for Alarm, I'm going to use a different fight. I'm not going to use this fight. I'm going to use a fight from when they're going on attack here. Actually, depending on what... Let me go back first. Let me do this and see what's Fusion going to do here. You know what? I'm going to use this instead. This is better to use. We're going to use this. And I'm going to look at this first fight because I already know that this first fight should be a good fight and a much more telltale to how you should look to take space as your main tank. Or, sorry, as your main support. My apologies. Okay. Okay. 3 points that you need to keep in mind. Not utilizing your off tank as an anchor to identify how you take space. These are about 3 points that you can utilize to identify how you need to take space. 1, 2, 3. Number 1. Are the flanks clear? Okay, like, are the flanks clear? Yes or no? Yes, they are clear, right? If the flanks are cleared, then what's next? Well, is your Zen safe? Very simple. Safety doesn't mean is he getting dove by a tracer or if is he getting dove by a ball, right? They can happen at different times, but is he also getting run at? Is he himself potentially taking a little bit too much poke? Then no, you can't walk forward yet. You have to protect your Zen, you have to heal your Zen, then you can walk forward, right? Now after that, you've cleared flanks, your Zen's safe. Now the next question you need to ask is this. Can you brawl where you are already? If you can already brawl where you are, why are you trying to take space? You already have taken most of the space that you're allowed to take. If you can't brawl and you need to close more distance to brawl, go close the distance to brawl now at that point, right? Because you know that there's no one behind you, so you're safe. You know that your Zen's potentially safe if there's no one behind you, right? And then at that point, the third point is just if all your Zen's safe, he has enough HP to walk forward. He's in a good position. All the flanks are cleared out. No one's diving him. No one's running at him. Well, then the next thing is I need to get value on break. How do I get value on break? Well, I need to proc inspire. How do you proc inspire? You need to fight. You need to brawl. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I missed out on you, Hariko. Thank you for the follow, Hariko. I'm so sorry. Hello. Hello. Okay. So let's look at this fight.
Hello there.
And let's see how he looks to take space. Let's see if he follows those three kind of lines, right? Thank you, Hariko. That means a lot. Thank you. But so beak, back. Is it back? I hate names, man. It's not even a hard name. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, but thank you for coming to the stream. I appreciate it. Hopefully you're learning a lot, improving and increasing that brain size. And yeah, thanks for coming in. Enjoy the last little bit of content that I'm going to push out just before Owl starts today. Okay, let's see here. Walking. Good. He's looking at his Zarya. He's looking at his Zen. Okay? First things he's doing right away. He's in third person. Why is he in third person? He's checking over here towards the left side. He's checking towards his right side. Because as you notice, he's moving around to that right side sometimes, checking to make sure no one's coming up from behind to sneak up. He's checking the flanks, making sure the flanks are safe for his Zen and his Zarya. Okay? He's walking now. He's moving forward. Again, he's moving forward. He knows the flank's safe. He knows his Zen's safe. He's walking up. He's looking to brawl now, right? Ball's coming down. You see, he's walking forward to go for the brawl. Again, before he walks even more forward. Yes, they got a kill. Are they safe? Not really. There was somebody on the flank. Their Zen is safe right now, but the flanks is not cleared. There's a ball behind on the flank, right? He needs to play safer. He needs to play slower. He should not be looking to brawl right now. Now he backs up, right? Was he a little bit too far forward there? 100%. His Zen is not even walking that far forward. His off tank is not even walking that far forward. He should be looking to play a little bit more safer. Or Hoppa should look to play a little bit more aggressive, right? We'll look at one more fight. And I believe this is the fight when they turn it and they're able to get I don't want to say the win, but they're able to win this fight, I'm pretty sure. Okay, let's see here. Okay, walk up. Again, he's looking at the flanks. He's clearing flanks. He's making sure things are good. His Zen's safe. He's going to start to move now in a better position. He doesn't need to look at the flanks right now. He needs to be in a good position so he can recheck flanks again. Alright, he's going. He's checking flanks. Alarm has killed one of the flankers. He can look to play a little bit less to clear flanks now, right? Because Tracer is the biggest threat on the flank, right? MCD goes down. Now you see that he is still cautious of the flanks, but he knows his Zen's safe right now, right? So now he's gonna walk up and he's gonna try to look to brawl. He's checking always if it's Zen's safe. He's seeing if there's anyone on this left side. He does. So he's playing to intercept the flank here, right? Now he sees Hoppa moving forward. He's walking more forward to Hoppa because he knows that alarm is safe, right? Consistently checking flanks, consistently checking if Zen's safe. Then when he knows both is possible and most likely, he's walking up a little bit more forward to be ready to brawl, right? But he's never in the position to be super far away from his Zen when the brawl is not happening, right? He's not forcing the brawl all the time. He's playing in a position between the middle ground to where he could assist in the brawl, but if his Zen does get dove, he can help his Zen. Fantastic positioning from Astro. Great job doing the 3 checks there. You got a okay from me. Okay? Cutting it close. Got a few more seconds. Alarm's turn now. How do I determine how can I take space without relying on other characters to help me take space? Okay, super easy thing. This one is a little bit more technical now. So I'll play this out while I'm doing this. Okay? And you guys are gonna laugh. But this is literally the truth behind it. Number 1. Flanks. Number 2, and then number 3. And 2 is I know you can't really like see stuff right now on the 3rd point. I'm gonna move it forward a little bit more so you can see it. Ah, dang it, dude. What the? I keep doing this thing, man. I need to find a better solution for this. I moved my cam to the left there. Sorry about that. Oh, is that the legendary doc? What a guy. Hamster should go first because he lives in a ball. Handsome behavior for me. Oh man, you're making me blush, man. It's okay. I'm a very big nerd, Hariko. You're correct. I'm a big nerd. So anyways, going through this really, really quickly because I don't have as much time as I would like to kind of go through it. I'll go through one fight. But the reason I laugh is because the first step is the same step across the board. Flanks. Are there anyone on the flank? No? Okay, yeah, we can walk forward a little bit. We can take a little bit more space. The next thing is when the fight's happening, right? Or if people are kind of still looking at me, am I playing around a position where there's packs and terrain? Can I reduce my hitbox so I don't take unnecessary damage in the open? Am I playing around packs so that I can go back to a pack and not rely on my support? Yes? Okay, we're in a pretty good spot now as well. 3rd thing, where's the fight happening? Am I playing in a position where I'm LOSing multiple people, right? Yes? Okay, well, I need to walk forward. I need to be in a position to shoot more. I need to be in a position to be able to put my harmony on somebody, to put my discord on somebody. Okay? The fight's happening more in front of me. I know my flanks are clear. I know that I'm close. I can go closer to a terrain. There's a closer terrain to me, or there's a closer thing, or a closer pack to me. Walk up. Why am I scared? Fight that guy. I don't give a crap. You have the best aim in the game. Hype yourself up. Get in there. You can kill anyone you want. And that's how it should be on Zen, right? Confidence in your mechanics. When you have those first 2 steps kind of sorted out and you know there's closer terrain or closer packs to you, no one's at your flanks, walk up if the fight's way ahead of you. Don't play the long range. I said this exactly to Sir Majid when I was on Raspberry, and I think Majid has fantastic mechanics. First day I got there, I see him playing all the way super far back. And I talked to him, I said, why are you scared? And he said, well, you know, I'm a little bit scared because, like, I think I'm just going to die. I'm very squishy. I'm like, don't be scared. Can you headshot that guy? Do you think you can win the 1v1? He went to me and he's like, yeah, of course. Like, I'm better.
Hello there.
Then walk up. Prove that you're better. Go for the duel. Show them that you're better mechanically. And I told him after that, too, you do that, I promise you, you being the most scare or most risky person to take space. If you start taking space and your off tank and your main support's not taking space, oh, they're gonna learn real fast. Like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing the right thing. I need to walk up. Like my Zen's already ahead of me. I gotta go. Like, what am I doing? Right? So this is why it's really important as a flex support. If you can identify this stuff and your other guys can't, yes, it'll be harder for you. But that's when you're vocal and you say, push up, we can do this. Like, I'm safe, go. And then everybody else will be like, oh my gosh, like he's right, let's go, let's go. So then they'll walk up with you. And then they will learn eventually from themselves as well. This is why the anchor system can work if you have strong leaders in that regard and people that are able to identify these steps. But if not, you need to take the lead and you need to tell them, we can do this. I need you guys to man up and push on through, right? And then boom, instantly having success, right? So we'll look at this fight. We'll see what Alarm does here, right? I got like a bunch of follows, like one after another. Give me 1 second, guys. Disclosure, Johnny Coomber, and Holy Pig, thank you guys for the follow. I really appreciate it. Hopefully the brain is increasing in mass and size, and I'm very thankful for you guys being here. I'm sorry that's like towards the end of the stream, but like very happy that you guys are here. Thank you. Okay, first things first. He's putting himself in a position by packs, potentially by terrain. He's in a very, very good position right now, right? Look at this. He has the pillar to play by. He's clearing out the flank as he's playing by really good space, right? Fight is not happening on cart. Fight can happen more forward. He's taking aggressive position. Look at his positioning compared to his Zarya and his Brig. Yeah, you're seeing that right. Alarm is all the way on the right-hand side because he knows he can take that space. There's no flankers. He's clearing out the flankers as he's walking to take better terrain. The fight hasn't happened yet. There is no situation where the fight's going to happen, but he knows that the fight will happen, right? By where the payload is. Yeah? Or potentially up top. So let's see how he looks to play the rest of this fight. Very forward position, right? He's playing very, very aggressively. Look at him. He's not scared. He's not walking backwards or anything. Now he's going to look to walk a little bit forward. He sees ball. He doesn't have to trank because of the mines. He's kiting a little bit. Again, he's not scared. He's going. He goes for a trank now. He has to back up. Do I think he was in a poor position? 100% not. He was in the right position at the right time. Just everybody else was slower to take the position with him. Right? On the bright side as well from that, mechanically looking at it, he approached that well. His team was a little slower. But look how many ults he burned just because he was in a clearly good position. His team used 1, 2 ults. Their team, they used 4 ults. 4 ults to try to retake that because of the positioning being so good, right? Did Alarm die there? No, he didn't. He survived that whole time. Did he have to trank? Probably not. So they should have 5 ults going into this fight from Fusion. But overall, still pretty good. Let's see how he's going to play this now. He's looking at his flank, so he looked to his left. He's looking to his right, right? He's going for 5 orbs towards this right-hand side. He's playing by terrain. He's playing in a safe position where his hitbox is disregarded. He has a hack pack to his left-hand side, right? We see Funny's moving forward. The fight's happening in front of him. He's staying in here by the terrain right now. He's a little bit scared. Potentially somebody might come to his right. Now he sees, all right, like, we're up 2 kills. I have no one on my flank. The fight's happening in front of me. Push up. Walk up. Sadly there, I mean, it doesn't really matter at the end. They end up winning it. But sadly there at that last point, you had your Brig not looking towards the right-hand side. You also had him feel like he was really safe. He should have been walking forward even more. Why do I want him to walk forward more? Let me show you. You get passive healing from the cart, right? He is playing this terrain to reduce his hitbox, and he feels like this is a pretty strong place because of where his Brig is, right? This is where I say, why not play more aggressive here, right? Look at where the card is. Look at you guys. You do not need to do anything in this fight. You want to play safe because you're like, oh, like as long as I'm in the back, I'm alive. We win this fight passively. But to me, it's like, dude, you're up. You were up 2. I'm pretty sure MCD also died in this fight. So you have MCD dead. You have Gushue dead, right? And Bernard is out of mech. Walk up to cart, force them to have to come into you instead of playing this passive angle to allow for them to get a hero play like this. If you walk up a little bit more in the open, they don't have control of the top left. They're on the bottom right. They have to walk at you from an even playing field. And guess what? You have people in better positions, right? I go to the overview. Look at this team. You have a minefield on cart. You have passive fields on cart. You have a ball. You have Hanzo there, right? And better yet, from him positioning over here, right? He's further back. He's making himself susceptible to this flank. Why? Because Break is looking forward. Break is not guarding that area. And if Break has to guard this area, Break has to, guess what? She has to walk backwards. She doesn't want to walk backwards during this fight. We're in a brawl sort of phase. We're getting ready to fight them. Make them have to brawl you, right? So walk a little bit more forward if you know that the team's over here, right? Walk towards space you control so that your Break can have an easier time. She doesn't have to walk to save you. She can just walk towards you, right? Or you're making it so that you walk towards her, right? Again, overall, the way Alarm played, very good. But those 3 points were kept in mind, okay? And this is where the concept comes in. Yes, this goes a little bit into micro, but to me, this is a concept. How do you identify taking space properly? How? Well, what's the steps? And I went especially through the 3 most vulnerable people to take space. And that's the big thing you have to understand. One of the key rules that you should understand, flanks. Check flanks, always. Always see if flanks are safe. From there, it goes a little bit differently for both, but still, it's a very easy and straightforward, I would say, thing, right? And with that being said, I'm a little bit over 5 minutes going into owl time, but that's the macro, or that's the concept review, sorry. That's how to identify how to take space, specifically as a backline or as individuals at a level of the flex support, main support, and off tank. That's how you identify how to be able to do things on your own.